So, with inequalities, like we just said, we have different options to use. We can use less than, okay? And of course, the opposite of less than is greater than. And we also have the options that are less than or, equal to, less than or equal to. And it looks like this. It has half the little equal sign under it. And then we have greater than or equal to. So this means it could be anything greater than or equal to the number we're talking about. It could be anything less than or equal to the number we're talking about. We've got two objectives today, and our first one is that we are able to write an inequality for a statement, and then we're going to talk about how we can graph that. But when we write an inequality, we have a statement. More than 2,500 people attended the convention. It actually tells me in that sentence what inequality I'm going to use. What does it tell me? Somebody else said it. More than. Okay? Well, what's a synonym for more than? Greater than. So if I have P for people, that's my variable, greater than 2,500. So what this means is that there were more than 2,500 people in the stadium or in the convention. So people was more than 2,500 or greater than 2,500. All right, what about number 2? What words are we looking at here? Her earnings were no more than $64. No more than. Now, if it's no more than, can it be $64? Yes. Can it be more than?
No.
Can it be less than?
Yes.
Okay, so if we have E for earnings, what symbol would we use? Less than or equal to. Because you just told me it could be $64, but it can't be any more than that. It can be less than that or it can be equal to that.
What is the equal sign with a line through it?
That means not equal. So all of these you could write the not equal sign if you're doing less than or greater than, but right now we want to actually compare if it's greater than or less than. But yeah, what Fletcher's talking about, guys, is you have the equal sign with the line in it. That means not equal. But we're using less than and greater than to compare. Okay? All right, so looking here, the winning 5K race time was less than 22 minutes. It actually says it, doesn't it? Less than. Bingo. So we'll say the race was less than 22 minutes. And you'll start catching on. There are certain phrases that you'll start noticing mean specific things. Like this one. A checking account balance is no more than $500. Well, up here when we said no more than, what did we use? Less than or equal to. Does that work here?
Yeah.
Can it be 500?
Yeah.
Can it be more than 500?
Yeah.
Can it be less than 500?
Yeah.
So it works. So balance is less than or equal to 500. So when you have that phrase, no more than, that's going to be less than or equal to. What if I had the phrase at least? What would that be?
Less than? No, less than.
At least.
Oh. At least that could be more.
Greater than or equal to. It could be at least that, but it can be more, can't be less. So that would kind of be the opposite of this one. If you have is no more than, and then you have at least. All right, a maximum ceiling height of 8 feet was required in the new buildings. What's our key word there? Maximum. So can it be more than 8?
No.
No. So our ceiling has to be, what do we think? Less than or equal to 8. Very good. My favorite example when writing inequalities, if you think about a roller coaster or any ride, and it says you must be at least 48 inches to ride. Okay, you go up and you measure yourself. If you hit 48 inches, can you ride?
Yes.
If you're over it, can you ride?
Yes.
If you're under it?
No.
So you would say your height had to be greater than or equal to 48. Or if you go to a restaurant and the children's menu says 12 or under, That would be
Equal to or
less than or equal to. Absolutely. That's why we have inequalities. Because we have situations where you could have more than one solution to a problem. Okay? Those are great examples. If I were to tell you that all of your 9 weeks test had less than 50 questions, are they all going to be the same amount? They can be different amounts, but they're all going to be less than 50 questions. Okay? So that would be a range. It's when you have a range of answers that you can use an inequality. All right. So any questions about how we write them? We good? Look for those keywords and then just kind of ask yourself what would make sense. Now, we're going to graph an inequality. This is the fun part. Okay? I really mean that, seriously. Okay? So, we have 2 options here, less than and greater than. What's over here that's not over here? That little line, the equal to part. Okay? So, if we have the line, that means that number is included. So, we have what we call a closed dot. When we're graphing it, the dot on our number will look like that. It'll be all filled in. And that means whatever number that is, that number can be included in the solution. Make sure you're copying this down. All right, so if we don't have that equal to part, what do you think we have? An open dot. So our graph will look like this. And basically this means included, not included. And to me the cool thing about this is if you look at your signs, they're actually pointing the direction that you're going to be shading your number line in. So anything less than, which direction do we shade in on the number line? To the left. It's pointing to the left. So then anything greater than, we would shade in on the right. And it's going to point to the direction you're going to shade in. All right, so let's try one. We have x is greater than 15. So I have a number line. I'm going to fill in my numbers. It doesn't always have to be right in the middle, but if I don't have numbers written there, I usually put my number in the middle. Okay, so on 15, would I have an open or closed dot? Open, because it does not include 15. It's everything greater than 15. So which direction would we shade in?
Right.
To the right.
Oh, that's simple.
It is, actually. And the cool thing is, make sure when you're graphing this that you also shade in your arrow, because you know it can go on forever. But if you look at this, what does this arrow match?
The dot.
Your sign.
Oh.
See, it's actually showing you which direction you want to shade in. That's okay. Oh, you were thinking like don't shade it in. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right. Looking at number 7, n is less than or equal to 6. So I'm going to put 6 in the middle. Do I have an open or closed circle? Closed, because it equals 6. 6 is also a possibility. And which direction do I shade in?
To the left.
To the left. Because think about it, you want everything less than, and less than would go to the left. Now, here's one more thing we need to do. I always want my variable at the front of an inequality. I don't want a number to begin with. I want my variable first. So when I have an inequality written like this, I need to flip it. But I have to be very careful when I flip it, because right now it says 5 is greater than A.
So you do A is less than 5?
Exactly. A is less than 5. When I flip it, I have to flip my sign too, to make sure that it stays the same. It keeps the same meaning. Okay? Well, think about it this way. If 5 is greater than A, then A is less than 5. Okay? It's just the opposite. All right, so we put our number. Is that an open or closed dot?
Open.
Open. And which direction do we shade in? Be careful because I'm coming to this one right here. Yeah, don't go back to the original one. Go to the one that you flipped. You want everything less than 5. All right. On number 9, do I need to do anything? I've got to flip it. Because remember, I want my variable first. So D is less than or equal to 17. I want to flip it, do the opposite. Because if you look at this, if 17 is greater than D, then D is less than 17.
But how do you know the less than sign is has that little line?
Yeah, it does. Okay, so we'll put 17 over here. And do I have an open or closed circle? Less than or equal to, so it's going to be closed. Remember, if I have that little line, then it's closed. Because it means it includes 17. It's everything less than 17, but it also includes 17. Yes.
So if it doesn't have a line underneath, it's open?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why if you look here, no line, open dot, line, closed dot. Yeah. All right. So which direction do I shade in? Left, because it's everything less than. Okay. I have my variable first, so I don't need to change anything. 37. And guys, your number doesn't always have to be in the middle. Whenever I don't have numbers written, I'll do that. But you'll have situations where your number you're graphing is not in the middle of your graph. Okay? Looking at this one, M is less than or equal to 37. Is it open or closed? Closed. Very good. And which direction? Left. We got a lot of lefts here. Okay. All right. 58 is less than K. How do I rewrite that? K is greater than 58. Very good. So I put my number in the middle. Is it an open or closed circle? Open. There's no line. And which direction do we shade? To the right. Because it's everything greater than 58. And the whole point of this, guys, is this does not include 58. It's everything greater than 58. It could be 58.1. It could be 58.01. But it's not 58. Okay? Any questions so far? I was just talking about the difference between the open and closed. This one includes 37, so it's 37 and less. But it's only if it includes that number or not.
So when it's doing that, when the teacher's pointing that way, that's that way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and if you think about this is anything greater than 58. Well, I'm going to shade in everything greater than 58. And it does point to the direction you're going. It kind of matches your arrow. See right there? So your arrow matches. Okay? All right, let's flip over to the back. All right, so what you're doing here is what we did on the front. You're writing inequalities here, and then we're graphing. So let's do one of these together. More than 40,000 fans attended the opening football game at the University of Florida. What are my key words there? More than. What's a synonym for more than? Greater than. So we'll say fans were greater than 40,000. Did it equal 40,000? No. It's just greater than 40,000. So that's what you're doing on these, is you're writing an inequality. Okay? Look at the bottom. A is less than 8. So if I graph that on this number line, do I have an open or closed circle? Open circle, and which direction do I shade? Left. Very good.
We have to shade.
Yes.
you're doing it, like if your symbol's going this way, would your line go this way?
It's pointing, well, think about this, guys. This is less than 8. Well, everything less than 8. And this would be greater than 5, so anything greater than 5. Okay? All right, I'm going to stop right here.
Bye, YouTube. Bye.